Hello, everyone. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the uptrend.com with your morning market outlook for Wednesday, May 13th, 2026. In the pre-market this morning, things are fairly quiet. Stock index futures are mixed with the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq currently trading higher. We've got the Nasdaq leading the markets higher on Wednesday morning. Very quiet trading in the world of commodities. We've got crude oil down a penny while gold is up $19.50 in the pre-market on Wednesday morning. Now, what worked yesterday? Well, it was the copper miners were the big winners on the day. Ero Copper was the big winner on the TSX Composite. What didn't work was semiconductors, and there's Qualcomm, the biggest loser on the S&P 500 on Tuesday. Now, yesterday we were talking about the major divergence, how many stocks are not performing well at the moment, and we were looking at the Dow, which looks like it may want to be putting in a double top up here. We certainly haven't been able to break out above 5,000, and just above that level is the all-time high. And then looking at the right side chart, we're still on a buy signal here, no change in trend from Tuesday's trading action, but mathematically, we could generate a sell signal on Wednesday. Now, what worked yesterday? Well, oddly enough, the two best performing stocks on the Dow yesterday were two of the stocks currently trading above their flypaper channel. We had United Healthcare was the best performing stock, followed by Walmart. And then the two worst performing stocks were stocks that we featured yesterday morning. Salesforce and IBM were two of the stocks trading under the flypaper channel, and they were the two worst performing stocks on the Dow on Tuesday. Then looking at the VIX, or the Fear Index for the S&P 500, we traded up through the channel and then ended the day down a little over 2%. The VIX for the Nasdaq still on a buy signal here, and of course you saw what happened yesterday to the chip sector, so options traders kind of knew that was going to happen. Then looking at the Nasdaq itself, we came off the intraday lows and came right back up and closed at the previous day's low. So quite a nice recovery for the Nasdaq going into the close. Looking at the VIX for the Russell, we traded above the upper channel line and then ended the day slightly lower, so no change in trend there for the VIX for the Russell 2000. Looking at commodity ETFs, and we knew crude oil was going to trade higher in the pre-market, so here we are back on a buy signal, joining gasoline already on a buy signal. Natural gas pulled back yesterday, still on a buy signal here, still not going anywhere. Looking at energy stocks on the TSX, we're back on a buy signal. In New York, we traded up to the upper channel line yesterday, but did not close below it, so we still need to see some more buying on Wednesday. Now, we talked about the copper miners earlier, and why did copper miners lead the markets higher yesterday? Well, there's the price of copper making a new high on Tuesday. Looking at the price of gold, we had a small pullback yesterday. We could see a sell signal today, but we are trading higher in the pre-market. Gold stocks in Toronto were down just a tick under 0.25%. In New York, they were down just under 0.5%, while the junior gold miners were actually higher on the day. Looking at silver, silver moved up yesterday. Silver miners and junior silver miners also traded higher on Tuesday. Now, moving on to the TSX Most Actives from Tuesday's trading action, starting off with Enbridge, still on a buy signal here, no change. No change for Denison Mines. We've got Ivanhoe on a buy signal right now, looking to see if we can take out the April highs. If we can do that, then 1406 and 1563 come into play. Looking at Suncor, we're back on a buy signal. We're back on a buy signal for Canadian Natural Resources. Keel Infrastructure had an inside day on Tuesday, no change in trend there. There's Manulife trying to break out above the Monday high. If we can do that, then 56.25 would be our next target for Manulife. Now, First Quantum recently made a higher low. So we made a series of lower highs and lower lows. Then we recently made a higher low. And now we're looking to see if we can make a higher high. So that high from April can certainly be a target to the upside if First Quantum wants to continue to move higher from here. Now, Barrick had an inside day on Tuesday, so no change there. The first bank to show up is Bank of Montreal, which is trading in the channel right now. So we need to close on Wednesday below $205.80. If we can take out the recent high, then $218.75 would come into play. Let's finish off this morning's presentation taking a look at U.S. most actives from Tuesday's trading action. Starting off with Plug Power, moving right up to our next price target of 391. That's the top of our projected trading range on the daily chart. We got as high as 389 yesterday. If we go back to last Friday's close, we were projecting up to 391. That was our next target on the weekly chart. And then you can see above that 469, which we faded back in the start of October. We faded just below that level. So we've already hit 391. Can we get to 469? We'll have to see. Looking at Intel, we pulled back yesterday as the chip sector saw some selling. No major breakdown so far, no sell signals. We certainly saw a lot of chip stocks close below the previous day's low. We'll have to see how that turns out. Looking at NVIDIA, we made a new high yesterday, heading towards 225. There was a huge update for quantum computing yesterday. Now, if you had an order in at 1094, it got filled at the open at 1270. If you had an order in at 1250, it got filled at 1270. And if you had an order in at 1406, it got filled at 1406. So congratulations to anyone holding that stock. Looking at Nokia, inside day yesterday, no change in trend. Poet traded up yesterday and then came down slightly. So we're still trying to hit the high from back in April, which is up just under the 1563 level. Then looking at Micron, another chip stock that sold off yesterday, but came back going into the close. Look at the huge move up from the low to where it closed. Then looking at SoFi, no change in trend there. A close above 1679 would give us a buy signal on Wednesday. And then last up, Tesla had an inside day yesterday, struggling to get past the 437.50 level. If we can take out Monday's high, then 468.75 would come into play. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. Have a great day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Thursday morning.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theuptrend.com.